Welcome to Nitpicking Nerds. Are you still looking for a deck idea?
We've got 10 more unique commander deck ideas to help get the juices flowing.
I'm your host, Joe Charix.
I'm your host, Beezy, and that makes us the Nitpicking Nerds. As always, daily content. This is day number 153, I believe, of daily content.
Approximately.
No one else is doing that. So if you want to support us, go to the TCG Player link in the description, click the link, buy the cards, check out, and then boom, we get a kickback on the order courtesy of TCG Player, or support us on the Patreon to just pay us every month as basically a little tip, and you get a perk in response.
In the process, I would say, was a better way to say what you said. But hopping into this video, we got 10 ideas that they're not really being done. We don't see them too much, and they're definitely unique. We're trying to make things a little crazy.
Get the juices flowing in your head to just throw some things out, and you're going to latch on to maybe one or two of them and go, whoa, that's a cool idea. Or, whoa, I could take this and twist it this way and build this deck. So this is just like deck ideas for you. They're all going to be kind of wacky.
First, we got Charix, the Raging Isle. He's a big old crab, and, well, it's an Islands Matter deck.
Yeah, we want to play basically only islands. I'd have to imagine this deck is just like 35 islands. And Charix has the ability to give himself plus X, where X is the number of islands you control. That's pretty cool. But then we get to just throw in all the other cards that the effect of it goes way up if you have a lot of islands. But usually your deck can't play enough islands to justify just putting one of these in, but we put them all in.
So one of the first ones you get, High Tide, that's going to double up your islands. It doubles up everyone else's island, but we're probably going to do it on our turn when they don't have all their islands untapped.
Yeah, it's not going to matter. It's really just your islands. And then if you can like cast High Tide multiple times or flash it back, and now if you can untap lands, you can like storm off and maybe even just activate Charix like enough times to make him 16 power.
Is that big?
It's pretty big. There's also Flow of Ideas. I love this card. I play it in a different mono blue deck with mostly islands, but this would be like all islands. 6 mana, draw like 9 cards if you've ramped.
Yeah, and it scales with the game. Like 6 mana, draw 6 is just an okay spell.
Right.
But the fact that it scales each turn of the game, it's like you're on turn 7, you played 7 lands, now draw 7, 8, 9, 10. And that number doesn't have a cap. I guess the cap is the number of islands in your deck.
Yeah, the cost doesn't scale with the effect. You're only ever going to pay 6. In the decks where you draw 2 cards off it, it sucks. But in the decks like this, you just draw 12 cards and it's going to win you the game.
Yeah, and one of our removal spells or our board wipes, Engulf the Shores, cares about islands too. If you have enough islands on the board, there's almost nothing that's going to stay on the board at all. If you have 13 islands, name a card that stays on the board. Go.
Uh-oh. Combo alert.
Uh-oh.
Charix isn't going to get bounced.
That's true. Yeah, Charix has 17. There are going to be enough islands to bounce it at some points.
But not most points.
But not most points. Yeah, exactly.
Spectral Delusion is basically the same thing, but has Foretell. So now we have 2 ways to bounce everything. And it's sort of like our cyclonic rifts, if you will.
Yeah, and we obviously have ways to search out basics in this deck. We have Wayfarer's Bauble. We have Mirror Landscape and Burnish Heart. We just want to get a lot of basics onto the battlefield. Non-green decks tend to focus much more on artifact ramp, but we really want to get lands in play. Another great card for this deck would be
Sad Robot.
Some more crumble. I was thinking Terrain Generator, another great card because blue has a ton of ways to draw and put cards into his hands. So if you can play an extra land each turn, same thing with Walking Atlas, same function.
Yeah, Walking Atlas is even better because it's not an island, so you don't have to like waste an island drop, but you might still play Terrain Generator in this. There's also Thematic Compass, which can go get islands. So maybe if you were to miss a land drop, you just don't.
Yeah, exactly. So that's the first deck idea, and it's a really cool one. Charix, I love. You get to play Big Crab, so I mean, how are you going to ever be disappointed when you have Big Crab?
You might even also want the Tempest Shin, or it's like not a good card, but it could just be like a 12-4. It's like a 12-4 flyer.
You don't want that.
No, but it says island.
It does say island. If you really want to stay on theme, sure. If you want to make the deck good, no. Next, we have partner commanders here, Malcolm and Tana, and the whole idea of this deck is to warp world. So warp world's a wonky card, but essentially everyone shuffles everything back in their deck. They reveal however many they shuffled in. It counts their hand, right?
Yep. No, that Warp World is just permanents.
Okay, so Warp World is just permanents. So you shuffle in all your permanents, and then you reveal that many, and you put all the permanents back in play. This is ridiculous. So the whole idea between having Tana and Malcolm is Malcolm makes treasure, Tana makes saplings. We just want our count to be as high as possible. So when we play this Warp World, we've got 30. We're getting to look at the top 30, so this is going to be bonkers.
Yeah, the Warp Worlds and the other pseudo same card, Great Aurora, which we're also going to play, they're just going to win us the game. We almost, like, if you play against this deck enough times, maybe you don't even have to resolve Warp World because you just win. So you could treat it like a combo deck, but it's pretty fun to resolve sometimes. So I play out the first couple for sure because Malcolm and Todd are like the only two partners that can make extra permanents, and we don't care what they are or how we get them. We just want extra permanents. So you can play Dockside Extortionist, Field of the Dead, best card ever. It's going to make free permanents. They count towards Great Aurora and Warp World, even though they're not cards. So 10 zombie tokens could just become 10 actual creatures with ETBs or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Dockside Extortionist is insane. It's just, you can make infinity treasures. I mean,
it's really only good in this deck.
You think?
Yeah, it doesn't seem much play
Avengers
outside.
Zendikar, also a way to make tons and tons of tokens. In Season Pyromancer, he doesn't make a ton of tokens, but he does make 3 bodies for 3 mana, which is decent.
And it filters you in to find your Warp World and your Great Aurora.
Yes, so you can just dig for it, because that's our whole goal to get that. And then the only instance sorceries we're going to play in this whole deck is Warp World and Great Aurora, so that we can have a third win con in Primal Surge. Now, Primal Surge is not an instant win like it is in decks with only permanents, but the odds are you're going to hit 20, 30 permanents, which is probably going to be enough to win.
Yeah, we've resolved Primal Surge. I actually had a deck that was kind of similar to this. It was a little different. Primal Surge, if you get 15 things, the game's over.
The thing about Primal Surge that is really silly, and I hate it.
Hard to keep track of.
Yeah, it is so hard to keep track of. The card resolves in order. You reveal one, and then you reveal the next one. So if you reveal a land, say you just reveal an island. Okay, the first one. Next one is Field of the Dead. The island is not going to trigger the Field of the Dead. The island technically goes in first, and you have to keep now every land after Field of the Dead you have to keep track of, and you don't count the ones before. No,
but you won't get you won't get anything until after the spell's done resolving.
And then if you had Avenger of Zendikar, you got to do the same thing where you got to keep track of the lands before, because the lands on before are going to give you plants, and the lands. No, wait, those triggers both go on the stack.
The trigger to make lands goes in the stack after the spell's done, and then.
Oh my god! So what's really weird about that one?
Yeah.
Is that you want to hit all the lands after. You want to hit Avenger first.
Yeah.
Because the trigger will go on the second. It's going to count every land.
It checks.
But only the ones coming out after will trigger it to put counters on the plants.
Yes. This is like the
so
wonkiest
confusing
rules deck. You're gonna have so much fun trying to figure out what actually happens.
Yeah.
Because it's nonsense.
Primal Surge is so hard to keep track of, but it is a fun card to play.
And same with Warp World and Great Aurora. Next is a Kenrith the Returned King deck. And before you fall asleep completely, it doesn't have to be Kenrith. It could be any 5-color commander, but we're going to go ahead and pick Kenrith. This is self-inflicted damage tribal or suicide tribal if you want to get a little more risque.
Yes. So the whole idea is to give our opponent stuff that is going to make them lose the game using stuff like Donate, Harmless Offering, Bizarre Trader, Zedru. All of those just let us take our permanents and give them away to other players.
We don't want them.
Fractured Identity will let us copy things to give them away, and Hive Mind will let us copy spells for them to take. So
everybody's forced to copy the spell.
Exactly. So what we're going to do with this is we're going to give away Demonic Pact. Demonic Pact, if they have it, eventually it's going to trigger to kill them. We're going to give away Phage, the Untouchable, with Fractured Identity.
That's the wombo. That's the instant win.
That is an instant win. So you hit your own Phage with Fractured Identity. It puts Phage on each of their battlefield. It'll trigger for each of them to lose the game.
Say, did you play this? I don't think you did that. And then they lose.
Yeah.
There's also Pact of Negation, which pairs with Hive Mind. So as soon as anyone does anything, you're just going to try to Pact of Negation, or probably a better card, Pact of the Titan, which doesn't counter each other and mess stuff up. But Pact of the Titan's just going to say, all right, you get a stupid 4/4. Can you pay some red mana? No, you're dead.
You can play any number of the packs. You just want to. The whole idea is you got to get a pack that someone doesn't have the color for. It's most likely that in probably red and white packs are your best way to go because
they suck.
They're the least played colors,
right.
Is what I'm saying. So it's if you play the green pact, most people are playing green. Obviously there's going to be situations where that's not true, but for the most part, overall, it tends to be true.
And then Slaughter Pact is the easiest one to pay for. It's only 2 and a black, so maybe they can even just do that. So and City of Brass, Mana Confluence. On average, though, these packs are just going to win you the game or lose them the game. You're also trying to copy Glorious End. And the turn, then they're going to lose.
The only one player loses with this. If you have Hive Mind out and you cast Glorious End, 3 will go on the stack. The last player with priority will.
So the person on your right.
The person on your right will get theirs. They will cast theirs first, and then they'll lose at the beginning of their next end step, I believe, or is it the next end step?
The first Glorious End resolves and ends the turn, which exiles all the other Glorious Ends, and everything else that would happen. Then your turn, I guess you'd do this on your turn, would be over. And we go to when they get to their end of their next turn, they lose.
The one thing you don't do a Glorious End is cast on your turn. If you have Hive Mind out, you want Anyone else,
the turn before, right?
yeah, it doesn't matter. You just stop them on their upkeep.
Oh,
and you cast the Glorious on they lose their whole turn.
Oh.
Then the next player just plays out normal, and then the guy to the right just loses.
And the guy on the left's like, whew, good thing I sat here.
the guy in the middle is the guy in between, like the guy who's not
the
your
person
left.
on your left is fine. Then the next person, their turn ends. Then the next person loses.
Well, no, it's a person on your. It doesn't matter. I guess it can be either one of them. You
Yeah.
can make lose a turn. It's up to you. Whoever is more of a threat, you make lose their turn.
Well, I guess I know it's always the player to my right, so I always want the least amount of time for them to react, which would be this person's up. We're going way too deep into this. It can make them lose the game.
Yeah,
You can bully someone.
Yeah, you make the player sitting to your right lose the game.
We'll do a whole 50-minute video on the Glorious and Hive Mind tech.
No, we won't.
You're right. Undying Flames and Witchbane Orb. What do they do?
Well, they do something really silly. Witchbane Orb gives you hexproof, meaning that you cannot be targeted. Undying Flames is an epic spell, so we need to hive mind Undying Flames. So when we do that, each player that's not us will also cast Undying Flames. Nobody's going to be able to cast any spells for the rest of the game except Undying Flames, which will burn players, but it won't burn you because you have hexproof, forcing them to both kill each other, and the last guy, he has to target himself. He has no other targets.
Their only option is to maybe burn your creatures and try to attack you, but that only can go on for so long because you get to burn their creatures.
Exactly. So the game is going to end and almost certainly in your win, and I love that they have to, in the end, start burning themselves.
It's like a soft lock. We're like, do you guys have it? We're done here.
Yeah,
You can't get out of this.
Yeah, there's no escape once the Undying Flames gets going. You try and burn out their creatures, like you said, or you try and burn your creatures.
Or just, you have Witchbane Warp. It can just sit there. You don't need to play that the same turn. Then just board wipe and then play this, and you win.
Yeah,
you literally win.
If there's nothing on the board, you absolutely win because there's not even any other targets.
You better have some sick morph in order to get out from that.
Yeah, it'll be so sick.
So sick. I mean, it'd be pretty cool if they had a morph and you tried to do this, but then they got to counter the spell that they cast. So that only they get to do things.
Well,
watch out for the morphs that counter spells. There's so many of them.
Yeah, you got to watch out for I think there's one.
It's terrible. And then there's also Emrakul the Promised End, the old-fashioned way. Just take the wheel. Not like Jesus, though, because you're just going to crash their car immediately.
Yeah, we're going to just control the turn with Cruel Entertainment and Emrakul the Promised End. These are just easy. These, technically, you could say, you're not making it do it to themselves. Yeah, I'm just making the choices for them. It doesn't mean they're not doing it to themselves. It's kind of like
stop hitting yourself.
Stop hitting yourself. Stop hitting.
Didn't like that.
Why are you hitting yourself?
I don't know. Cruel Entertainment, they could target you after to control your turn, but if you're just trying to go for the throat, you target them and they lose. You also make them lose the game.
You also get the greatness of making two players control each other's turn. What are they going to do? Not take advantage of it?
Yeah, pass. Okay. You don't get another one after. It's just pass.
Yeah, your turn's been wasted either way. Make two players lose a turn, still a pretty powerful spell.
But I've also seen, okay, I'm not going to put up with this. I don't negotiate with terrorists. Pass. And then the other person's like, well, I just get to control your turn now.
Yeah.
You already passed my turn. What's in it for me? You know what card's really cool?
No.
Helix Pinnacle.
Oh, wait, I did know that.
Yeah, why don't we try to build a deck around it where the only thing we ever want to do is win by getting 100 counters on Helix Pinnacle as fast as possible. We have Tuvasa at the helm of this deck.
Yeah, see, so she's like enchantments matter type stuff. First thing, we need to get our Helix Pinnacle, right? I mean, we can't, the whole deck is around it, then you need to be able to get it. We got Enlightened Tutor. We got Wargate. You can do, Idyllic Tutor. Any number of tutors that say, go get enchantments. Even play Plead for Guidance. We want this so bad.
We might play Plead for Guidance. Savine's Reclamation can get it back from the graveyard. We're in blue, so we can back it up with counter spells. And then, how are we going to get a bunch of counters on it? Well, the first two, Vorinclex, Monstrous Raider, and Doubling Season, they double it. So 2 mana equals 4 counters, and you're getting double your return per mana spent, so you can get there half as quick, twice as fast.
Half as double as fast.
Half as slowly and twice as fast.
Yeah. Ways to proliferate. We got Evolution Stage, does it on landfall. We got Flux Channeler and Inexorable Tide, which both do it on the cast of spells. So this is really going to get going very, very fast. And, well, we need tons of mana. Well, we're an Enchantress deck. Sanctum Weaver just makes so much mana. And if you have the money, so does Sarah Sanctum.
Yes.
Both of those cards are just going to make mana equal to our enchantment count.
And Seedborn Muse, with any of these other cards, really just says, all right, if I untap with Helix Pinnacle, which I'm probably going to, I'm going to win because I'm going to have 100 counters by then.
Yeah, and I think one thing worth pointing out that's just, this is how you play Helix Pinnacle because it's just better. you activate it one at a time.
Just in case.
Just in case, because if they have an effect such as disallow,
Yeah.
not that they should be playing disallow,
They shouldn't.
but if they have a disallow or a stifle, they can get rid of. Wait, yeah, they did. They can get rid. I was thinking about, but no, it's an activated ability. It can be countered by a stifle or disallow. If you do it one at a time, they can only stop one of the activations. There's just not really. I can't personally think of a reason to do it all at once.
Right. So it's just like your 0.1, just like that Glorious on Tech. It's your 0.1%
You take it.
percentage increase for free. You're welcome. That was us giving you something for free.
Yeah, literal free roll. There's no reason not to do it this way. If you actually, I would love to know if you have a reason that throwing 10 mana into it rather than increments of 10 times is better. I would love to know. I can't think of it off the top of my head.
This next one, number 5, has Joe Cherry's written all over it, so you can take the lead.
Well, it's Piru, the volatile, which you're wondering, well, what can we really do with that? I know it gains you a ton of life, it deals a ton of damage, but what is the synergy here? Well, it's Stuffy Dolls and Stuffy Doll-esque effects. A Stuffy Doll means that when it takes damage, it deals that much damage out. So, well, we have the original Stuffy Doll, just straight up. When Stuffy Doll takes damage, when it entered, you chose a player, and then that player's taking that much as well. Brash Taunter can choose a player every time it's dealt damage. It's a 1/1 little goblin. And on top of that, it fights. I found this card to actually be a nice, pretty strong card for Commander, and you can just probably test it out in some random decks.
For like mid power level.
Yeah, I'm not saying put Brash Taunter in your CDH deck. Boros Reckoner, one of my favorite cards of all time. Probably one of the worst ones with Spite Mirror as well, and True Fire Captain. All these are very medium cards. But when the whole idea revolves around doing this, it gets a lot better. And then you have Coal Holer Swine.
Let's not forget that one.
How could you forget Coal Holer Swine?
So with all these creatures, we just want to deal a bajillion damage to them. Sorry, you picked the wrong deck to be in. You're about to get messed up, except for the ones with Indestructible. There's also Toralf, God of Fury, who just goes insane. If you've got a Stuffy Doll and a Brash Taunter, the ones with Indestructible, and we also are going to have ways in our Mardu deck to make our other creatures indestructible for the turn. Well, now Toralf, if you deal, let's say, 10 damage to your Stuffy Doll, all right, 9 excess, go to Brash Taunter. Okay, 8 excess, go to Stuffy Doll. So you get triggers of 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 instead of just 10.
And that's going to kill players. Like, it's just going
That's
to
a
kill.
big number.
Also, if you say we're going to be using spells like Blasphemous Act, Star of Extinction, Chain Reaction, which deal a large amount of damage, these cards just kind of win with Toralf himself. Because there's so much excess damage being dealt, Toralf's just going to send it to everyone's face, and it's going to end the game.
If there's 20 creatures in play, which is not crazy, that's 5 each, most of them are going to take like 10 plus excess damage. And all you need is that to happen, 4, 8, 12 times, and then, 3 of your opponents are dead, and that's how many opponents you have.
In Star of Extinction, if you have any 2 of your Stuffy Doll effects, it's just going to it 40 somebody. And that's enough to kill a player straight out of the game without any damage having been dealt to them.
Even without Indestructible, yeah.
Yeah, you just don't need that. And then there's...
oh, yeah, the infinite life combo.
Yeah, if you Boros Reckoner, give it lifelink, and Indestructible, he can keep shooting himself over and over and over and over and over again. So that just goes infinite.
And he has lifelink, so you gain infinite life.
Another cute thing you can do with this is if you have... what is it called? Oh, the guy who adds 2 damage to everything. What's his name?
Toralf?
Torbran.
Torbran.
If you have Torbran, what Boros Reckoner can do is deal 5 to himself. Then deal 7. And it's weird because it would be really... This is one of those things where thinking about a flavor would be cool. It's like he's indestructible. He keeps shocking himself with lightning and making himself stronger.
And then somebody eventually dies.
Well, then he literally would... You can make him shoot 1 lightning bolt with like 10,000 damage.
It's pretty good, Boros Reckoner.
It's just so silly. I mean, this isn't like a reliable win con, but it's certainly a cool one.
Yeah, this deck looks cool. Maybe you should build it.
I do want to build this. I just never get around to it. It's one of those ones that's been on the back burner for like 5 years now. Up next, we got Breya, Ethereum Shaper. But we're not doing the usual boring Breya Infinite combo with, Nim Death. Yeah, she's great. I mean, the card's great. It goes infinite with Ham Sandwich. But we're doing the triple threat, the food, clue, treasure deck.
Token deck.
Token
Get
deck.
them all in play. You got 4 colors, so you basically have access to almost everything except for the green cards. So we're thinking the best card in the deck's got to be
Hidden Commander.
Got to be Academy Manufacturer. There's so many ways to get this card out, including War of Invention and Fabricate, and there's also the Tribute Mage, I think. Trophy Mage. Trophy Mage gets the 3 drops.
Yes, there's a lot of ways to tutor up artifacts. You also have your Enlightened Tutor. You have your
Demonic Tutor.
Demonic Tutor.
Vampiric Tutor.
Oh, yeah, we're in black, right?
Yeah.
Totally forgot about that. There's a million tutors. You tutor this thing out. You get on the battlefield. It's our secret commander. It's what we want.
Then what?
Yeah, because now we play Thraben Inspector, Bygone Bishop, Trail of Evidence, Confirmed Suspicion, Tamir's Journal. All these make clues, but when we have our secret commander out, they make clues, food, and treasure. But that's the weakest way to do it because the food and the treasure are meh extra. What's incredible extra is clues, because clues are literally
Cards.
They're going to draw you cards. Witch's Oven, Late to Dinner, and Taste of Death are just going to give us some foods. Then this is the biggest upgrade. Foods are the most medium.
They suck.
When you get a clue and a treasure to go with it, well, okay, now I'm super in.
Because it lets you spend all your treasures to crack all your clues to find more cards that make treasures and clues. And then food is also there.
That's fair. I mean, you can add in some life gain synergies to make it work a little better. But yeah, honestly, food's just there.
And the easiest thing to make is treasures, which might even be the best. So there's Impulsive Pilferer, Goldspan Dragon, which doubles your treasure output, Magda, which can go find Academy Manufactor, actually, Revel in Riches, which is a win condition, Spell Swindle, it's basically Mana Drain, Pitiless Plunder is actually an amazing card, and so are Smothering Tithe and Dockside Extortionist, which are, those three cards are dumb.
There's actually, I just want to mention this because it's funny. We did this script a couple weeks ago. We worked on it. Hole Breacher sitting on here.
Makes so many treasures.
It makes so many treasures. Unfortunately, it cannot be in this deck. It's banned, and rightfully so.
This is the most innocent use of Hole Breacher, and it's still stupid.
We weren't trying to be. We literally just wanted the treasures. That's all we wanted.
You can have the draw. I just want the treasure.
Yeah. Whenever you draw, I get a treasure, which that still sounds really good. With it not being a replacement effect, still sounds very, very strong.
Yeah. All right. I don't want it in the format. Card Clan Ironworks. All those artifacts. All those tokens are artifacts. KCI just says now your foods are actually useful. Every food cracks a clue, and you have a treasure left over. Woo!
I mean, if you make one of these and you have your Academy Manufacturer out, it produces 6 mana. I gotta imagine there's ways to just go infinite with that. I would be shocked if there was not.
What do all three of these tokens have in common?
They're all artifacts.
They all sacrifice themselves. So we're playing Mayhem Devil, and you can also play, now that I'm thinking about it, Marionette Master.
Ooh, Marionette Master will go crazy. That'll kill people real fast.
This deck is so sweet.
And
Breya weaponizes all of them anyway. She's just said sacrifice 2 artifacts, do a thing.
Now here's what's really going to happen, and this is when you're going to cry. When somebody plays their Vandablast, you will cry a little bit.
Stony Silence might be worse. You have to look at them.
Oh no!
And they can't ever help you.
No, I don't want to think about that.
Why? Think of the good part of this deck.
Yeah, think of the good side. Don't fall victim to Stony Silence. Just say you're mean to your opponents.
This next one is a retired Joe Cherry special. It's Nicol Bolas the Ravager, but it's not just one Nicol Bolas. It's only Nicol Bolas. That's your restriction. You don't get to play a card unless it references or depicts or has Nicol Bolas on the card.
Or it's some sort of, in some way, is a part of Nicol Bolas's plan or scheme from one point or another. First thing we got Omniscience. We get to use the cool invocation art, which a lot of the invocations have Bolas, so
Lucky for us.
Yeah, you can look into those invocations and see which one you get. Torment of Hellfire's just got Bolas in the art being all evil.
It's a good finisher. Like Omniscience, Torment of Hellfire, and the last one, Bolas the Citadel, are actual 3 real win conditions.
Yeah,
that might make this deck, like a contender.
I think it's a funny nombo. Omniscience, cast my spells for free. Torment of Hellfire, I want to put all my mana into it. Kind of a nombo.
You don't have any?
Yeah.
You have to put all your mana into it. Is Omniscience optional? Yeah, it is, right?
It is. But
so
it's just,
you could just kind of...
Yeah, it's just funny because it's like, obviously, you want to cast your win cons with Omniscience, and Torment of Hellfire...
We're not doing that?
Shut up. They both have Bolas on them. See? Look at that.
And for board wipes, you get Crux of Fate, Damnation, the Invocation, and Hour of Devastation. Invocation, Devastation. They're 3 board wipes. They have Bolas on them. We can actually control the board.
Bolas. That's all we want.
What about card draw?
The only thing that matters is that we get Bolas. Well, we have Patient Rebuilding, which triggers on your upkeep, and you mill somebody, and you send me to land. Give me those cards.
And then Deep Analysis has Flavor Text for Nicol Bolas.
It does. It also has him in the art.
Oh yeah, I was thinking the Mastercore one, but there's another one with just him on the art.
Yeah, it just is Nicol Bolas in the art. We also have for some removal. We have Eldest Reborn, Tyrant's Scorn, which is not a great card, and Soul Manipulation.
It's unsummon or eliminate, and then also counter a creature spell, get a creature back. And the Eldest Reborn only interacts with Planeswalkers, but can help us ultimate our Bolases, which almost all win.
Yeah, and then the next one is just like it's his minions. These are all his
Yeah.
minions. Scorpion, Locust, and Scarab God are just, they're Bolas' his minions. That's literally what they are. You think they were like old gods in Amonkhet and he like brought them in to work for him.
Yeah, and it's not even like, oh, Chandra did a favor for him once. It's like, he created all these things, and he's directly responsible for them existing. And same with the Dreadhorde cards. That's all him. And every Bolas Planeswalker, that's the meat. There you go.
Yeah, you can use Dreadhorde. You can use Dreadhorde, command the Dreadhorde,
Yep.
which is technically a Liliana card on it, and she's controlling it, but she's doing it for Bolas.
All of that is Bolas caused.
Flavorfully.
Flavorful.
Yes. Also, yeah, BZ said every Bolas Planeswalker. This is where I discovered the power of 7 mana God Pharaoh. That card's a strong Magic card and a great finisher. It's just a great finisher, really. Like,
Yeah,
if you haven't played
accidentally,
it,
it's just the best card in this Bolas deck.
it's just, yeah, you would never expect it. It looks very medium on paper. It's a closer.
Yes. All right, number 8 out of 10 for awesome, amazing, unique, crazy deck ideas. This is Valentin and Lisette, but mostly just Valentin because this deck is all 1-drops. That's it. We can only play cards that cost exactly 1.
Not
No
0.
X's, no zeros, no delve for 1. It's literally just 1-drops, and let's see if we can win.
Yeah, this deck I think is the weakest of all the decks we've made, but I think by a far.
So close.
I don't even think it's close. But you get to play all the mana dorks. Those are some of your strongest cards. Soul Ring, obviously a great 1-drop. Skull Clamp, an overpowered 1-drop. I mean, these next 3 in a row are overpowered. Skull Clamp, Sensitive Dividing Top, and Vampiric Tutor are just all very, very, very good Magic cards.
But Vampiric Tutor, only being able to get 1-drops, weakens it a little. You still have tutors, Traverse the Uvenwald, and I think Reanimate and Unearth. Unearth, this is the only deck where Unearth is strictly better than Reanimate. Actually, Reanimate can take their things. Never mind. It's still better. And then Glimpse of Nature. That's what it is. I couldn't think of what the card is. Glimpse of Nature, all your cards are 1 mana, so even if you're not storming off, you just need to cast like 3 creatures in a turn, and they draw cards.
What is? Oh yeah, I'm like, what is Glimpse of Nature? Yeah, that
doesn't see play anywhere.
Yeah, it's an Elves Legacy card. That's the only place it sees any play.
Yeah, how about some card draw in our mono 1-drops?
Oh yeah, watch out for our card draw. It's really powerful actually. We have Foulmire Knight. That lets you for 4 mana, you get a 1/1 with Death Touch and you draw a card. Come on now.
Village Rites is draw 2 cards.
That's insane. You got to be kidding me.
That's nuts. Malika Rebirth.
That's not even
just
card
a good
draw.
card. That's just a good card.
That's-
It's getting a creature back is basically like drawing cards.
You know
That's why Phyrexian Reclamation. That's okay. There's actually a good card in this deck.
That's actually a decent card. It lets you draw. It lets you turn all your useless creatures into more useless cards.
Hold on. Let's clickbait it. 3 mana, reanimate target creature from your graveyard. You lose 2 life. That card sounds great.
That sounds broken.
Right on the battlefield for 3 mana every time.
I mean, that's broken. Why didn't we think of that?
This deck should just be real. Viscera Seer and Carrion Feeder, they just help you sacrifice all your cards. And actually, what this deck says is all of the mana values of every card is 1, not discounting X spells because they're not in the deck. Lisette, you could cast. That's kind of a win condition because we have stuff like Essence Seer, which is like a Soul Warden. So now you can actually grow your creatures and attack for a sizable chunk without betraying your 1 mana cost roots.
Yeah, we actually do have to betray it because we have to play the 4-drop side, which is totally betraying.
But the mana value of Valentin is 1.
Yeah, I know.
Right. So we haven't like really, but that's the only. You can also even just exclude that and say I can't cast Lisette if you want to, but.
Yeah, this is by far the weakest one we built, but it's cool. It's interesting, and I'm not trying to take a lot away from it. I think it is it's the biggest restriction by far.
Biggest challenge and the biggest success when you pull it off. Helix Pinnacle is one of your win conditions. We can borrow that from Tuvasa, and also the Ozolith. If you get Lisette counters, that's actually can be pretty sweet. They're just gonna go up and you boost a creature.
Can you guys tell how excited I am about this one? I love this one.
I kept quiet during your Stuffy Doll deck.
That looks cool. Up next, we got Kraum and Vial Smasher, but we also have a third commander in the companion zone. It's Obosh. This is, well, if Obosh is our guy, odd tribal. It's also a burn deck, incidentally enough.
Yeah, it's odds and burn. We know what Vial Smasher does. He deals damage at random. Obosh doubles it. Kraum has flying, so it actually probably is going to burn people a bunch. It just swings for 4 at somebody every turn. And we got just the biggest spells, that no matter what they do. Temporal Trespass, Coastal Breach, Temporal Mastery, Blasphemous Act, Commandeer, Force of Will, Deflecting Swat, Into the Story. Really, really, really expensive, except all of them can be cast for reasonable amounts of mana.
Yeah, they literally can. All of them, some of them, a lot of them can be free. Some of them literally get down to 1, 2, and 3 mana, and that's pretty much nothing. the key to this is, even though we're spending 1, 2, or 3 mana to cast them, their CMCs are still 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13.
And Vial Smasher's dealing damage, and Obosh is doubling it. Blasphemous Axe going to deal 26. Gosh darn it.
That's a lot. Like, and I mean, that's a lot of damage.
That's even more than the other deck that was trying to deal that much damage. It's also Spell Shock. Whenever they cast spells, they take 2. Oh, wait, it's 4. Sulfuric Vortex. No. No gaining life back. That's cheating. You're going to start at 40, and you're going to have to keep it.
Yeah. Scab, Clam, Berserker, it just has to hit, and once it hits, it gets a counter, and now it starts doing the burning thing.
It's basically Spell Shock.
It's Spell Shock, but you got to sneak through a hit with it, and it comes out early enough.
It has haste.
And it has haste that it's going to probably do that. Sir Conrad randomly deals damage, even though it's a black card, so he's going to be doubled, and this card it's not going to stop.
Conrad plus Obosh, that's almost game, especially if you're untapped somehow. That's game over.
Yeah, you're going to deal
too many triggers.
a lot of damage. Gutter Snipe, whenever you cast instant sorcery, you're going to be pinging people.
4 to each of them with your Obosh.
I mean, that's only 10 instant sorceries, and they're dead.
Okay.
Add in all the other ways we have to burn them, it's going to go real fast. And Zozu, the Punisher, their lands are now dealing 4 damage to
Oh
them.
man, that's they're just not going to be able to do anything. This is like a Punisher deck. We also have Curiosity, Ophidian Eye, and Tandem Lookout.
These cards are great.
All of our creatures want to deal damage, sometimes to each opponent at the same time. So when any of these 3 cards are enchanted or paired, we get to draw 3 cards whenever we do that.
I mean, I don't know how you're going to lose when you have a Gutter Snipe on the battlefield. Gutter Snipe Curiosity is bonkers.
It's basically a win.
It's incredibly strong, and you just get to keep going off and casting spells. This deck's whole idea is to cast overcosted spells for cheap mana. You're going to cast a ton of spells. I mean, if you can put this on any one of these, I mean, Sir Conrad the Grim's completely bonkers.
Yeah, and we can start. I can imagine, since so many of these cards have discounts, we go Gutter Snipe, Curiosity. All right, Temporal Trespass, draw 3 cards. Then you untap, and you just go like, all right, Deflecting Swat, Force of Will my own spell, counter it, cast a 1-drop, and then everyone's just almost dead from there.
I mean, an actual win count, a very good win count in this deck is the infinite cleanup steps with Sir Conrad. You have Curiosity on Sir Conrad.
Yep.
You just activate him a couple times, and you get to a point where you're over in hand. Go to your end step, discard 2 creatures.
Deal 6.
Draw 6 new cards. Go to your end step. Keep doing it. You're gonna burn them out before hopefully before you draw out.
We call it the infinite cleanup step. It's a goofy name, but it's accurate.
It is accurate, yeah. But another thing about it is you're gonna keep going to your cleanup step. The thing is, if you can't kill everybody, you kill the players you can, and then you leave the best card in your hand. All you have to do is not discard a creature, and suddenly Sir Conrad's not triggering anymore.
Yes, and we have plenty of free counter spells or redirects so that Sir Conrad won't even die, or your commander won't even die if you need it.
Yeah, it's that's really one of the best combos in this deck. Sir Conrad with Curiosity, Ophidian Eye, Tandem Lookout, any one of these is
I'm
just
surprised I
a
haven't
win.
seen that anywhere else. This is Nitpicking Nerds original.
I think I stole it from Moses.
Well, our patron Moses, it's an original that we're stealing.
Yes, Chef's Kissed You.
This might be the best deck of the 10.
It's real good.
It's actual strong. Okay, there's one more. It's Saskia the Unyielding, and she's going to say when your creatures deal combat damage, you get to redirect it somewhere else. If the player is taking combat damage, right? So we can just manipulate combat and go, let's just make it so that everyone's always attacking and everything crazy that you can imagine is going on during the combat step. I want to just throw some legends out there, all of which mess with combat in a major game warping way, and we're going to have one of them every single time because there's Brina, Cardor, Marisi, Fantas, Fumiko, Gahiji, Xantia, Miri, and Queen Marchesa.
Why did you sing when you go Barina, Cardor, Marisi, Thantos, Fumiko, Gahiri, Xantia, Miri, Queen Marchesa? That's it.
All right, so either way, you've now, like, if you didn't understand what I said or what Joe said, you got the other one to tell
I was trying to get a beat. I guess I was trying to go to I've been everywhere, man.
Whoa.
I couldn't get it. Barina, Cardor, Marisi. It's tough to get to the beat, right? Try it.
It's like Brina Card or Marisi, Thantas Fumiko. You gotta do the inflection.
All right, this is staying in the video.
It's enough, Rihanna.
What, Rihanna?
Isn't that Rihanna?
What? I've been everywhere, man.
No. Oh, I was looking for someone. That's the song I was doing. All right. Some minor sidetrack. What else does combat stuff? This is the combat party deck.
There's Rite of the Raging Storm, which is going to make lots of stupid elementals, but they can't attack you because the Rite of the Raging Storm says no, thank you.
No, they're 5/1s. They're going to beat people up, and we can send the 5/1 or anything else at any player we want, but that unfortunate player is going to get just beat down and dead really quickly.
Yeah, Bloodthirsty Blade. This is a very cool card. We've had the chance to see it in Commander Cube in action. It's just you equip it to your opponent's creatures. Whatever the biggest, baddest threat on the battlefield is, suddenly it can't attack you, and it has to attack. Well, not coming your way, that's for sure.
And it's got +2/+0. This is kind of a pseudo removal spell. I threw it on a Suture Priest because it was annoying me, and then it has to die. Someone's gonna kill it.
Yeah, that's a very good card. You should try it. I haven't gotten a chance to play it in regular EDH. Frenzied Saddle Brute. This is a great card. It gives all creatures haste as all creatures can attack as though they had haste, as long as they attack a player that isn't you.
Yeah,
So,
everyone always asks what this card does, and I just say your creatures have haste if you don't attack me.
yeah, but
That's like the shortened, the Cliff Notes.
Yeah,
it's
but
not that exactly.
and the problem with the Cliff Notes version is because like in that version, it's not like, can I activate abilities? No, you can't activate abilities. You can only attack.
And Frontier Warmonger is your creatures have menace, so they don't attack me, and so do mine. Great.
Yeah, Menace makes combat
Twice
very
as
annoying.
difficult.
This card is super annoying. It's Agitator Ant. What happens is at the beginning of the player who controls its end step, so our end step, everybody, including you, can put 2 +1/+1 counters on the creature. If they do, that creature is goated.
It's tough to not take it because if the other people take it, your creatures don't measure up, and then you get attacked by the people who did take it. And if everyone takes it, it's so net positive for the Agitator Ant controller. Like, you don't care. We're attacking anyway. We're going to be able to run over any other creature in combat on the field.
Yes. And then there's Goblin Diplomats, which I love. The guy's pointing at his butt. Look at that. He's pointing at his butt. There's also the version BZ's talking about where he's doing the
I would be that one, and you would be the butt.
the guy's pointing at his butt. It's hilarious.
That's what you would do, and I would do this.
Yeah, Goblin Diplomats is great. It makes somebody have to attack, and if our creatures are going to be big, strong, and buff, so they're probably not going to attack us.
I think this card says tap, destroy target player. All right, you have no blockers, and 3 other people get combat steps. You're going to die.
Yep. What's the last one here?
The last one is Sower of Discord. You choose 2 players, and they're linked, so that if one of them loses life, the other one also loses that much. It doesn't go infinite, but it's you take damage, you take damage.
And also, check out the Discord where you can come hang out with Nitpicking Nerds.
We're the Sowers of Discord. Also, the video's over.
The video is over. Special shout outs to every single one of our patrons. We love you all as much as we can without making you uncomfortable. We would never want to make you feel uncomfortable.
Never, especially when we were singing 2 different songs and just derailing the entire video. Also, TCG Player has a link for you. It's in the description when you click on it and navigate to the site. Buy the cards you're probably going to buy anyway, let's be real. Check out. Now, all of that, because you started with the link, gives us free money that you don't have to pay for.
Yes.
How great is that?
I thought you were going to say more, but you
What
obviously
else
went
is
out.
there?
There is nothing else. We actually went over all 3 of the things that we want to say at the end of the video.
Yeah, I mean, the only other thing is a bit about our lives.
Yeah, it's your turn.
Oh, it's my turn?
Yep.
Okay. What did I do? I watched 8th Grade. It's a movie directed by Bo Burnham. I felt like seeing it, and I liked it a lot, and that was really good.
Okay.
I watched it. Definitely the most realistic depiction of middle schoolers I've ever seen on TV.
Yeah. Okay.
They were literally just on their phones the entire movie.
That's
Like most of the movie. It was pretty good.
yeah. I know that
some like cringy, like, oh no, I relate to that.
I've seen like my nephews with their friends. They're always and like barely exaggerating. They're like always on their phones. Like they're hanging out, but all 3 of them are individually on their phones, not doing anything with each other.
I will also say it's not inherently bad that people are spending more time on their phones
true.
now. It's just because the world works differently doesn't mean it's worse than how it used to be, right? I mean, being on your phone all the time and being in touch with anyone you could ever hope for is better than playing outside and having no friends.
Oh, but that's sad.
That's sad. I'm sorry, 1950s.
Do you think kids
With your
want to?
hula hoop and your bike. And
No, you push a hula hoop with a stick down the road.
Yeah, that's what you do.
That was a classic play back in the 50s.
That's the go-to, the bread and butter.
Yeah, bread and butter play. Peace out, Tribe Scout.